All right, so we'll come back to order. Tracy is with us now. Tracy, what do you have
Yes.
for us?
So what I would suggest, Mr. Chair, is that there also is, of course, the feedback that you had from the visits. And then I also have feedback from the following up on your references, as well as the feedback that was given by those who met the candidates when they were in district. As you may or may not know, we had a survey that was out in the field. I don't want to overemphasize that. In every case, there were fewer than 20 responses per individual, but I am happy to share some of those reflections as well. You might consider whether you want to potentially take it candidate by candidate, maybe, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, let's have some of the feedback maybe, and then talk about the visits and.
Okay, so.
Start at the top in order there, I guess?
Okay, so start with go in order of this evening or go in alphabetical order?
The order of the evening, let's do
Okay.
that, it's easy enough.
So speaking of Mr. McCormick, I'm looking at first of all, looking at the information that was given by the references, and let me just note that in every case, particularly because of the day we had in Massachusetts yesterday, and I was talking to educators, I did manage to talk to all of the ones for Dr. Conway. Otherwise, I did not. I made all the phone calls, but not everybody got back to me. So let me just be clear in terms of that. But there was a lot of emphasis from Mr. McCormick in terms of emphasis on seeking new opportunities and partnerships, particularly in the smaller communities, smaller districts that he had been in, that he kind of grew to fill the roles that were needed, referencing, of course, things like small central offices and that sort of thing. That he's actually recruited good talent. People want to work for him, and that he has the best interest of the children at heart. There was some appreciation that came from within the district of his experiences with alternative pathways and the sort of outreach for those kinds of opportunities. There was a lot of appreciation for that sort of innovation given the constraints, both fiscal and staffing of a smaller district. Do you want me to keep going, or you want to do the visit on that one?
Yeah, so.
I was
Jess, you have a
thinking
question?
that, yeah, like if we're just talking about him, if we could then
Let's
talk
focus
about
on
each of the
each
sites.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the visit, who visited?
Jess and I.
Wanna
Did you
go?
want it? It was great.
Yeah, I took some notes after, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So the setup was a little bit different than what I saw from Joanne Menard. So we chatted with him first in the office, which was added on to the elementary school, and the high school is right walking 2 minutes away. So we talked with him, and then we talked with a group walked around the school, talked to a group of teachers there from the elementary school, which was a good assortment of different staff. And then we went over to the middle high school and walked around, and then talked to a group of students, and then we talked with a really good representation of staff as well, and then we toured half before and half after of the middle high school.
What did you take away from the visit though? Like what? So yeah, you walked around and talked to a bunch of people, but like, what's the feeling that you got from them?
So I mean, the groups were all saying he is incredible, he knows people by name, students, teachers, he knows personal information and really goes out of the way to make people feel like they belong. He's created the entire budget himself. He doesn't have a finance director, and he is everyone basically. They cut $1 million from his budget last year and still maintain the integrity of the program. The staff, the students were all really sad that he was leaving, but really wanted the best for him. 2 prior superintendents followed him to the district for less pay and a further commute, which I think speaks volumes. He knew the students' names as they were walking through the building. He was really good at advocating and grant writing for new programs to create a lot from nothing with their budget. Created pathways for the students, which he showed us, and working hard to create a safe space for all students, especially special education.
Yeah, it was pretty much, she hit all the points. He was beloved. I think we met with his admin team as well as, I think we had we had the high school teachers too, I think, yeah. But I felt like he represented himself exactly how he represented himself in the district in the interview today. So it wasn't like meeting with a separate person and hearing something totally different. It was very consistent with what his staff and the students said. And just to echo what Jess said, like we walked through elementary school, he knew the paras, he knew the kids, he knew, you know, he was very, very involved, very like roll up your sleeves and get involved. And, you know, another thing, just to echo what she said, he does the budget himself, which I was flabbergasted by that. So, very impressive.
We found ourselves apologizing at the end of each of the groups. We're like, oh, well, thank you and sorry.
Yeah.
Which,
Any other feedback, Tracy? From
No,
business here?
that's everything that I had on Mr. McCormick.
Okay, let's hear about Joni.
So in terms of Dr. Menard, one thing that was continually emphasized is sort of the scope of her level of experience because of the extensive sort of number of different things that she's done in K through 12, in various administrative roles. A lot of discussion around her strength in terms of curriculum and curriculum development, aligning resources, that she also citing the experience that she has in terms of industry. There also, one of the things, one of the people that I spoke to is the person who was actually in charge of equity for her current district, and something that he was reflective of was the way in which that was sort of brought to the table all the time by her, that was something that she was very deliberate in terms of doing, that it wasn't something that was needing to be advocated for, but was in fact being invited to sort of take a chair, that she loves to learn. And there was, in terms of the district feedback, that she was very well informed, highly experienced, gave very specific examples when asked for things. That she was strong on much of what was being sought. So one of the things that was on the survey was, you know, here's what you outlined in terms of what you were looking for. The reflections you got back were very strong in terms of Dr. Menard. Also that she's well informed and pleasant, positive, engaging, and sort of always brings that to the table whenever she's part of kind of any discussion.
Beth and I visited this district. Beth, do you want to say anything?
Let me just look back at,
Look at your schedule and remember.
yes, it will all trigger. We talked to a lot of people. She's very knowledgeable. She is very supportive. We talked to 3 different principals. They all had made mention of how like supportive she was in difficult times. We talked to all of their curriculum heads, I think, and curriculum's obviously a very strong suit for her, and she's been really supportive in kind of reestablishing what was going on there. I think she came into a little bit of a messy situation there, and she really has straightened it out a lot, and it sounds like they have difficult situation with like the town and community, and she's worked very hard at navigating that.
Yeah, she definitely seemed beloved. Any other? Yeah.
Nope, that's all
I agree
that
with
was all
that.
I had in Dr. Menard, yeah.
Yeah.
we got an email from a staff member supporting her.
Miss Hager, the art teacher,
Mhm.
had worked with her in a previous district and was thrilled to see her walking through the school.
Move on to Dr. Conway.
Sure, in terms of Dr. Conway, one thing that I wanted to sort of just highlight in Dr. Conway, I actually spoke with his current superintendent, Dr. Bartholomew, and he noted that, he told me this story, which is not something that I had known, which is that Dr. Conway was a finalist for the position of Pentucket Regional Superintendent at the time that they were hiring Dr. Bartholomew. And the school committee essentially went to Dr. Bartholomew and said, we're hiring you as superintendent, but we want to see if you can actually also bring on Brent Conway because we're so impressed. And he essentially presented it as they've been sort of a partnership for all of their time there. So spoke about his strength in terms of alignment of curriculum, universal design for learning in the classroom, the work that he does with the towns, that he's not only very knowledgeable, but is very good in front of a group in terms of presenting and speaking and so forth. One of the principals there spoke of his mentorship that in terms of encouraging leadership in others in the district, his knowledge base, his thoughtfulness, and that, yeah, I'm writing all of the times where it says, like, it would be devastating to lose him in the district. As you are gathering, that's frequently the reflection that we get from those who are positively seen in their own district. In terms of feedback here, there was a lot of feedback that was positive in terms of not only his knowledge, but also sort of his interactions with not only staff, but also students. That he was intelligent, a good speaker, well-educated, knowledgeable, and clearly had a passion for student success.
Lori and I visited this district, so Lori, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, so something that I noticed, we met with a lot of different people. It was very well organized. It was the day flowed. He has a very symbiotic relationship with the superintendent. I know he's an assistant, but you can tell that they really like each other. And he told us, Justin, I believe, the
Yes.
superintendent
Yes,
told us
yes.
that story. And it seems like they share a lot. And they work together, and they work together really nicely. So my concerns about being an assistant versus a superintendent, he's done a lot of that work already. He's a national speaker. He has huge connections at DESE. He's speaking all over the place, but he's very much in the schools. People know him. They see him. He's approachable by teachers, by students. One of the most impressive people that we met was actually at lunch. And she was a member of the school committee. She was a teacher in a different district, and she's also a parent. So I can't think of anybody more qualified to speak to him about him. And she said that, and everybody all day was like, we don't want to sell him to you because we're crying, because we love him so much. We don't know how we're going to exist without him, because he does everything. He wears many hats. We love him. He's positive. He's, builds us all up. She said that her district is looking for a superintendent next year, and she begged him to wait, but it's too far away for him. To me, someone who is a parent, a committee member, and a teacher that says, I want him for my district, that's a huge sell to me. So that was my take. Yours, Mike?
The only thing I'd add was, I think, Jess, you said you met with students there too, but they all spoke about focusing on students. We didn't meet with any students, I don't think, of the 27 people, there were no students, I don't think that we met with, were there? I don't think so in Holliston, but we met with 4 or 5 students, just with students, and they couldn't speak highly enough about how he had either impacted them or influenced them or helped them in some way. And I thought that was interesting that he talks a lot about students and student outcomes, but we actually got to meet with, he set us up to meet with the students to see that in person too, so I thought that was.
And they were different students. They weren't like all a certain kind of student. So it was like different backgrounds, and it was interesting to see that they all liked him.
Yeah.
And had positive things to say, genuinely.
Different classes, different activities they were in. One was an engineering, robotics team captain, I think. There was a soccer player who they were bragging about being on the front page of the newspaper for the previous night's game.
Yeah, he brought us the paper to show us that the student didn't even know. The robot. Do you want to talk about the robotics at all? Because that was really impressive.
Yeah, if you've ever seen like on TV, like BattleBots or anything, those shows, it was like a lab like that. They have a traveling team. They have the grants that he talked about, securing, bought them these traveling cases, like you would see at a concert or something, like the big black and silver metal cases with all their tools and all of their equipment and everything that they travel around with them. So that was pretty impressive.
It's only 3 years old, and they're nationally known. Like it was, they had the 3D printers going. He was showing us, and it was so impressive, but over my head at the same time.
We got to tour the space for the pathways too.
Yeah.
Tim McCormick's space. And then they had, I guess, a prior robotics team there.
There as well.
Yeah.
But the space was good.
Nice. Tracy, should we see if there's favorites or what?
I think you can, yes, you can, so you can do this one of 2 ways. You can either ask, you can either open the floor for a motion to nominate someone, or you can essentially take a straw poll and ask everyone to name the candidate that they would want to put forward. Either of those are.
We'll do that.
processes.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go like around the table and everyone say their.
How about if we just go by each candidate in order, and if they're your favorite, just raise a hand? Does that work?
One favorite?
One favorite, yeah, one favorite.
Okay.
How's that work?
Okay.
Just want to clarify.
So we'll just, again, we'll go in order that they came in here tonight. So Mr. Tim McCormick, was he anyone's favorite? Dr. Joni Menard, was she anyone's favorite? Dr. Brent Conway, was he anyone's favorite?
Wow.
Oh my God.
I didn't think we were all on the same page.
I didn't either.
I'm shocked.
All righty
Well,
then.
there we go.
Could I have a motion to offer the position of Superintendent of Schools in Brooklyn Boylston Regional School District to Dr. Brent Conway?
So moved.
Lori?
Second.
I heard Jess first. Okay, so that motion is now on the floor, and anyone would like to discuss for or against?
I just want to say, like, we had another candidate too who was supposed to be a finalist. He just took a job in Harvard, Dana, who's wonderful. All of these people were wonderful. Like, I don't want Tim or Joni to feel like they made it because they had so many wonderful things to say. It's just that I feel like Dr. Conway meets a lot of things that we need and has the positive can-do attitude that I see this gentleman over here having a lot of the time, that lifts us up even when we're struggling. And I think that's what's really carried us through and made a lot of progress. So, you know, I don't want Tim or Joni to feel bad that they didn't get the votes, just the right fit. And all of us are so different.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all shocked that we
Just
all.
a really
It's rare that discussion.
Yeah, color me surprised.
When's the last time you had a 6-0 vote in this room?
And nobody abstained.
Yeah, right.
Well, we haven't voted yet.
Well, there you go. Right, we don't know yet. We don't know.
I just want to say one thing. Thank you to the search committee, because I was like unbelievably impressed, like you said, with all three. Blown away by how much they've accomplished. And so seriously, thank you guys for sorting through tons of people and bringing us like what I would consider the cream of the crop. And so thank you.
Thank you for that, because it was a lot of work, a lot of time.
18 resumes,
And-
yeah.
And some of us had to give away our notes that we were very attached to.
Yeah.
Someday she'll forgive
It was
me.
almost an altercation, but we were voting. But the other thing too is thank you to Tracy, who
Yeah.
ran
Yep.
a wonderful, like,
Yeah.
when we picked you, one of the reasons we picked you is because it was going to make such a hard experience so much easier for us. And it was a lot of work, and you did a ton of work. Thank you. This process, by the end of it, we all feel confident that we made the right choice.
So we haven't voted yet, and there's a motion.
Yeah.
on
All
the table.
right, sorry.
The straw poll
This is,
decision.
this
but,
is,
yeah.
Sorry,
arguments
I had
for or
hesitation.
against
All right.
Dr. Conway.
Well, I'd just like to echo what Lori said, like, coming into this stage, I was really confident with any of the four, and I was like, yeah, they're all amazing, so, I really want to thank all the candidates that applied, and, I wish them all the best, but, yeah, I think just, a lot of the things I've circled on my notes and stuff really, I think is exactly what we need, so I'm excited.
Beth?
I just think he's just a really good match. Like all of their experience is great. They are all more than qualified. I just think he's a great match for us and checks a lot of boxes that I hadn't met him before. I was really impressed. He hit a lot of notes or things that I had talked about with just like over Thanksgiving get-togethers that like parents had talked about. When he talked about like the vertical alignment of like the middle school and the high school and like why can't they take the high school classes, like that just came up with friends last week. And so it hit a lot of notes for me. This
Yeah,
this is huge. He gets it. I think he's a great match.
Lori, you spoke, Lisa.
I thought they were all so impressive, and, we went to.
We loved
see-
Dana.
I was like,
Indeed.
I'm like a huge fan, I was really sad when he dropped out.
I'm
but,
happy for him. I think he's a great match for where he's at.
Exactly,
Yeah.
so I feel like it all is working out the way it
Yes.
should, and, when we were interviewing them and they would speak, I'm like, oh, you're awesome. Oh, you're awesome, and I just like, how can I like anybody more? And it was just, and I just felt, just intuitively that Dr. Conway will be the best for our district.
All right. Megan, I think you spoke it first, but you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just echoing what everyone said, and like Beth hit the nail on the head with so many things that we've been talking about or like that have been, question marks, and it sounds like he's already all over it.
All right, so all in favor of hiring Dr. Brent, or offering the position to Dr. Brent Conway, we'll do roll call vote. Jess?
Aye.
Beth?
Aye.
Lori?
Aye.
Lisa?
Aye.
Megan?
Aye.
All right, I'm an aye as well, so that offer will go out to Dr. Conway.
If you'd like to take a recess, I'd be glad to call him and come back and give you whatever answer.
Yes, let's take a short recess, yes.
Please.
She's messing with me, nothing.
All right, we're back in session. We'll come to order. Tracy, you've called, and what do we have?
He says, yes, thank you, he's very excited to get this call.
All right.
And I told him one of you would be in touch with him.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yes, I did talk with, so I started talking with Sean and Jonathan about, we have to get through a contract
Yes, you
with
do.
him. So, they are on top of it as soon as we tell them who it is, and then we'll get in contact with Brent's side, and we're working that out. We as a committee have to figure out what we're gonna offer financially. We were originally gonna do that tomorrow in a meeting, but we canceled that meeting. Sean and Jonathan both cannot be there, even by phone call. So we'll maybe talk about it Tuesday at our full school committee meeting or at another time. But that's that. I think we're all set with this meeting.
We're all set?
Can I have a motion to adjourn this meeting, please?
So moved.
Lori?
Second.
Megan, everybody wants to stay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations.
Tracy, seriously,